Bam! All right, guys, I wanted to talk to you about salt. Now, this is my probably fourth or fifth video on electrolytes, but I'm realizing that the reason why people are suffering so much on these diets is the main cause, which is a lack of a proper electrolyte balance, which is affecting even the thyroid. So let's see what this looks like. People ask me how much salt, and I'm like, a teaspoon. You see that? That's how much you're going to eat in a day. Unless it's the middle of summer, you're playing basketball and you're sweating to death, then you might do 2. The problem is people don't understand how much salt. You need a certain amount of salt to regulate your adrenal system, aldosterone. You need that communication between cells and muscle contraction. And people literally will drop their carbs, start off doing carnivore or keto, not replace their electrolytes, especially the salt, and then they develop muscle cramps, heart palps, like feeling nauseous, sick, all these weird symptoms because of just not having enough salt. Another problem with not eating enough salt is your body starts to hold on to salt because not enough is coming in, right? So that balance between sodium and potassium is now off, and now you're swelling up like a balloon like you've never experienced before. And people don't consider that. So, I'm sitting here. I wish I was in my kitchen, but you would take about a teaspoon of salt. So if I take a teaspoon and you see that, that's about how much sprinkled on your food. Now that's a lot, right? That's a heaping teaspoon sprinkled throughout the day. Look at that, guys. That's a lot of salt. Some people are doing 3. When you're doing 3 tablespoons of salt, now the body really starts to swell because a lot of people have cortisol. Cortisol is making you hold on to sodium even more, and now you're just ballooning up. So you balloon without salt, you balloon with too much salt. So that whole Goldilocks middle point is so important, and you have to experiment. Not everyone's the same. People want exact numbers, and I'm like, you have to start with a teaspoon, taper up or taper down a little bit if you are having swelling, heart palps, muscle cramps, headache issues on keto or carnivore. It's really important to understand that people will be doing too much salt. They'll pee 20 times during the night because people who do these diets don't take traditional seasons anymore. Here you go with the sirens. It's my tradition until I move out of here, then we won't hear all this noise. But often, especially with carnivore, people don't do Italian herbs, so they'll just start dumping salt, right? Too much salt, not enough potassium. That sodium potassium balance pump in and out of the cells isn't working. Your potassium gets shoved down because you got too much of this. You got too much salt. Don't just keep salt in your food all day. I know in the beginning when some of these keto doctors were saying like salt really isn't a problem. It's not a problem with your arteries. It's just a problem with swelling up like a freaking balloon and completely disrupting the balance of your electrolytes. Sodium has to be matched with potassium. Now, the potassium is a whole nother separate video, but people need to understand. Avocado is a great source of potassium. It has a little bit of oxalates, but not a lot. Thank goodness for the fat and fiber. That means that the amount of carbohydrate in the avocado is very low as far as in terms of how fast it hits the bloodstream. Now, a lot of people have an avocado histamine response, and you have to test that. You have to start with an avocado, a tablespoon of an avocado, work up to 2, eat that for a week, then keep microdosing your way back up until you can completely tolerate that avocado. I've seen it now in 3 of my clients that were not able to eat avocado before, used to way before keto, then did carnivore, then can't. You microdose your way back up, and it works while you're sealing that gut wall. Now, if you can't at all tolerate avocado, there is meat broth, but then it has to be super fresh and it can only be cooked for an hour, because if that bacteria is growing on that meat in that water, it's a wrap. Forget about the bone broth, guys. It's giving people severe histamine. It's got oxalates in it. It's got glutamate in it. Just forget about the bone broth. It's just a trend. Let's do meat broth for the potassium. There's also potassium in lean meats, red meats. Yes, Chicken breast, not my favorite, but it does have potassium. Or you can take potassium citrate. Be very, very careful. Like again, when you're taking concentrated supplements of potassium, it's dangerous. Forget about those potassium electrolyte drinks. I think I'm going to do that. That's my next video on those like powders of all the electrolytes. Forget about it. No. So I hope you guys realize that when you're doing, if you actually get a teaspoon, right? And it's like a quasi heaping teaspoon of salt. Look how much that is. Right? You guys don't need more than that. Unless you literally, it's the middle of summer and you're sweating like bricks, then you would do more. Sprinkle it throughout the day. Now I gotta go so I can learn more about salt, because your body holds on to salt when you're stressed. Don't do that. And if you don't eat enough salt, then your body can't regulate its blood sugar, then it can't regulate its adrenal system either. It's like crazy. Like that Goldilocks middle is so important for you guys to understand when you're doing these low carb diets. Yes, we learn. I've learned. My biggest problem has been electrolyte issues because I didn't understand them in the beginning, and then it fracked me up and gave me melasma. And it's so interesting. I meet more and more women doing these keto diets for years, developing melasma, because when you don't have your electrolytes on point, your hormones tank. They do weird things, and you develop melasma. Then you have to get rid of it, like I did. All right, now I gotta go and see my boy Thunder. If you guys want to learn more, go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, my YouTube channel, which is here, and learn more and make comments in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification, because if you don't hit the notification, you won't see the videos when they go live. What else? Oh, my Facebook is Stephanie the Business. 53 years old. I got some energy. As you guys can see, my video catalog. This is what it looks like when you take care of it the right way. And we can make a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of dumb mistakes in the beginning. Gurus don't like to admit it, but we all do. We all have bad days. We all feel like shite sometimes, and we all make mistakes. And we just gotta admit it. All right, peace. Mwah. Oh yeah, if you want a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com and put yourself on the list. I'm gonna open up more dates. I thought I was gonna open up dates December, but then the big move is happening with my horse, so I gotta wait until January.